Nigeria is one of the most blessed countries on earth. From oil, gas, fertile land, mineral resources, even brilliant minds, we have it all. And yet, we can't seem to turn it into a lasting economy. So, today we ask a very simple question: can Nigeria build a self sustaining economy? Or will we continue to import things that we can literally grow in our backyard? A self sustaining economy is not a fanciful concept. It just means you produce most of what you consume, value circulates inside the country, communities are productive, infrastructure supports growth. So, in simpler terms, can a country thrive on its own without asking the neighbors for salt and maggi every week? You see, to me, Nigeria is like that one kid that dresses nicely, has the most expensive stationery you've ever seen, and yet will beg you for snacks because they don't have money to buy food. So, why aren't we self sustaining? Nigeria's economic problems are numerous and obvious, but I'll list the three most glaring ones. Number one is import addiction. We import things that we shouldn't even think of importing. I'm sure you've all heard that statement: Nigeria imports toothpick. I always thought it was a joke, but we quite literally import toothpick.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Number two is weak manufacturing. This one is actually a cause of the earlier stated import addiction. We have an estimated 56,000 abandoned factories costing us trillions of naira, with issues like government neglect, policy change, and corruption. Surprise, surprise. Then number three is poor labor network. I think there's a perception that Nigeria has a very skilled labor network, but my dear, that's an urban myth. What we do have is brilliant minds. I mean, we rank number two in Africa's tech industry. But too many times have I heard business owners complain about finding talented artisans. So can Nigeria actually build a self-sustaining economy despite our embarrassingly poor status quo? I actually think so. But before that, there's something else to talk about. In my last video, I said that Nigeria was poorly planned, but I've come to realize that that's not actually the case. Nigeria was planned. It just wasn't planned for Nigeria. Like many colonies in the 1900s, our economy was set up as a supply machine for someone else. Railways, ports, and early infrastructure were designed to move resources out of the country efficiently, not to connect Nigerian cities, build internal markets, or even support local industry. And after independence, we didn't build from scratch. We simply kept an old template and tried to run a modern country with it. So a structure that was originally designed for extraction is now used to run a country with over 200 million people. This, of course, brings about a bunch of systemic issues as to why a secular economy is non existent in this country. So, the problem isn't just bad planning, it's that we're still trying to use a system that was never designed to help Nigeria fully feed itself, employ its people, or keep value circulating internally. Let's look at some case studies of secular economies. So, first, we have Japan.
You see everywhere in Japan from cosplay to fashion to art. Oh, and there's
No, not that Japan. Japan works because even small towns produce most of what they need: food, goods, daily essentials. Most of them are produced internally. They also have highly organized labor networks and industry clusters, which basically means people are doing what they're trying to do in the right places at the right time. And their infrastructure, roads, ports, trains, electricity, they support everything from distribution to manufacturing. Nothing happens by accident. Now you might be wondering, what does Japan have to do with Nigeria? Well, for starters, Japan has a huge population. That's already potential internal market. And yes, they import some things, but most of their goods are produced internally. Nigeria has the population and we have the resources. So yes, the potential is there. What can we learn from Japan? First, coordinated industries clusters are key. Second, infrastructure and workforce skill alignment are essential. And finally, policies need to ensure that value actually circulates within the country. And just to give you a little laugh, Japan manages to feed its people and still export things like sushi. In Nigeria, yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Oh, but Farhan, you said Nigeria was colonized, right? So how can you compare it to an Asian superpower like Japan? Okay, fine, good point. So let's look at our next case study, Rwanda. Yes, the same Rwanda that just had the genocide in 1994. Quite frankly, Rwanda's story is remarkable. Now, this is a country that not too long ago things were bad, like really bad. Infrastructure destroyed, industries failing, agriculture disrupted, people scrambling, and yet somehow they turned it around. How? By focusing on three main things. First, they rebuilt all their infrastructure from the roads to energy to water. And then number two, the local production and agriculture. Farmers were trained, local processing plants were built, and suddenly, raw materials were turned into goods inside Rwanda. Then number three is community-driven development. The government didn't just dictate policies from Abuja-style towers, Kigali-style towers. Communities were involved, people made decisions, and solutions were tailored to local needs. But here's the thing. In the case of Nigeria, we can't build in the traditional sense. We're already too big, too populous, and too complex to shut everything down and start from a blank page. But we can rebuild from the inside out, not by waiting for one massive national reset, but by gradually fixing how communities function, how value moves, and how people live and work on the ground. We have to invest in small industry and agriculture. Then our governance matters. We need strong policies that actually get followed. Local communities are the engine. We have to let them produce, plan, and separate value internally. Then infrastructure isn't optional. Goods, roads, electricity, and logistics are the backbone of a good economy. Basically, copy Rwanda, but maybe skip the genocide part. Oh, wait.
In the African nation of Nigeria, millions of Christians are persecuted by Islamic terror groups.
And the best part is, Rwanda didn't just fix its economy, it fixed the people's mindset. People started trusting local systems and seeing value in keeping wealth circulating internally. In conclusion, Nigeria has potential. We have a lot of rich, successful people that can actually invest back into the country. If the country combines community driven planning and smart infrastructure investment, we could actually pull this off. Even the bad governance of the country won't be able to stop us. And the thing is, it's not out of reach. It just requires smart planning and consistency, like I've earlier stated. And after all this, Nigeria might finally stop being the country that imports too big and actually live up to our title, Giant of Africa.